Hello one and all, and welcome back to the Arsenal podcast, and we're here to reflect on obviously yesterday's West Brom game. We'll try and keep it as well friendly and blue free, I think you might describe it as, over the course of the next 40 to 45 minutes. We'll talk about the Dinamo Zagreb game and whether we really want to take it seriously or not. Also, basically anything else Arsenal related that we can think of at the present time. And with me once again to discuss everything is Mr. Diamond Jack.
Hello.
How is one?
Still recovering after getting back to Birmingham last night, but if anyone hears that I've got a bit of a chesty cough, I do apologise for your audio pleasure, but yeah, it's kicking my ass a little bit over the last couple of days, so do apologise about that.
Do you know what? I quite like having a cold because it makes you sound very hoarse and very sexy, I think. But I don't suppose you feel very sexy.
My voice, mate.
No. I suppose you don't feel particularly sexy there.
I always feel sexy, Neil.
Okay, then. Good answer. Good answer. So if you'd like to join the comment, the banter, you can get us on Twitter at @e_ArsenalNet, or one word, and you can contact us both, which will give you our Twitter handles at the end of the show. And there's also the Arsenal Facebook page, which is conversation was quite fruity yesterday after the game, as you might expect from heated from certain individuals, but we like that. We like that a lot, and so feel free to join the growing community there. West Brom, I mean, they've often been going to the Hawthorns even has been one of our trickier prospects, but not of late. So I mean, I was very confident going there and getting a result, I have to say. And look, I mean, we should have won that game. I think West Brom gave the ball away to us about 100 times. It just didn't seem to be our day yesterday. That it could just have been one of those just poor results. I mean, nobody really rose to the occasion. I mean,
I think you hit the nail on the head there, mate. I think that this, for want of a better word, is football.
Right?
Sometimes you win them, sometimes you lose them, sometimes you don't turn up and play very well, sometimes the other team play better than you. It really depends, and that's why we love the game so
I can tell you West Brom didn't play better than us, though.
No, and they didn't. But ultimately the ball went in our net twice and it went in theirs once.
Well, and a fascinating fact: West Brom one shot on target and scored twice. I mean, it's classic Arsenal. Only Arsenal could do that. And we had 73% possession. But
I thought the second half we blitzed them.
We absolutely did. Yeah,
I mean, I think that let's start at the top then. I think that since we recorded, I think that the events that happened in Paris has been spoken about in all different forms of the media, and everyone here, for what it's worth, sends their condolences to.
Absolutely. We just to say that what happened in Paris was were disgusting, really. I met a group of girls on the way back from London last week when I was coming back from Kent, and they were going to go to the restaurant next door to the place that was booked, and at the last minute they cancelled. And that probably might not have really, if you think about it, if they'd been going to the restaurant, that would be a bit different. But with the whole domino effect, I believe in fate and all that stuff. So it was quite an interesting. It's a great tale, to be honest.
I mean, and I think that again, like I said, we offer our condolences to all the family and friends and everyone affected by the tragedy, as much as it has been. But I think that Arsene said it last week that he saw Koscielny play on the Friday against Germany, and then the Tuesday against England, and he was a different player. He said he was a completely different player, and I think that it shows a lot of mental strength for Laurent to even come out and want to even play in a game literally a week after such horrendous events had happened. I think that the crowd beforehand observed, a show of support incredibly well. It was a really, really well orchestrated thing by West Brom. A little bit strange for me personally to have to play the French national anthem at the beginning of every game.
Let's touch on this. I think it's been a bit 50-50. I think it's a really nice touch. Like I was on Twitter just before the Watford Man United game, and all this French tweets just saying, "Oh, this is an amazing touch by English fans," and it shows us we're probably the most what's the word I'm looking for? Hospitable nation around, I think, and it's nice. Whereas some people thought it was a little bit crass, going over the top. Well, I think
that what Filippo Clare said, that it wasn't too much. I mean, the whole thing with the England game and that kind of stuff, it was just the right amount. And personally, for me, again, it's my personal opinion. It was a little bit too much for me. I think if they'd done a minute's silence or something like that, it'd have been absolutely fine.
Well, the trouble with that is, as you had with the Spurs West Ham game, just before they played the La Marseillaise, they had the West Ham fans were going Irons, and if there'd have been the minute silence, then there's always the risk that they wouldn't respect it.
Absolutely, but that has to be dealt with on an instant basis. If it happens, it happens. Then we deal with it from there. You can't, Anyway, I think that, it was just. And then after that, the atmosphere around the stadium was a little bit strange, to be honest with you. Everyone was a bit. Oh, that was a bit, of a strange way to start a football match and stuff. But hey,
I do agree with you. Yeah, I couldn't put my finger on it at the time, but obviously, I guess it's affected. Well, I mean, the history of Arsenal Football Club is hugely not just French but Parisian, I think you would say. So yeah, I mean that's an interesting point to make. Yeah. I think
there were a couple of players from the West Brom side as well who would obviously have contributing factors to that too. The Arsenal fans were getting on the back of James McLean quite a bit as well for the whole Poppy incident, but I think the less said about that the better, because that's a whole other can of worms that we could open up maybe for a different
Not today, Jack, not
absolutely.
Today.
But then the game started, and I thought that we came out the traps quite quickly, and everyone was kind of brimming with confidence. The crowd were fantastic, the Arsenal fans, I should say, were absolutely fantastic. We got behind the team, and it was going really, really well. And then we scored. Giroud scored.
Yep.
Was it? Yeah.
Yep.
Good goal.
7th successive assists in games for Mesut.
Oh, good
work. Did you say that? 12th now this season.
Well done to him. It helped with the final result, I know that.
Okay.
So, so Ollie scored. And then...
Little deft header is nice.
Yeah, and then... I feel that Olivier Giroud's contribution to the match actually finished there, because
strange, very strange.
Wasn't the best performance from the forward line as far as I'm concerned in a game.
Didn't see him really, did you?
No. And then we had what for me is probably going to be a season-defining moment for Arsenal Football Club this year, and that's the injury to Francis Coquelin.
Well, unfortunately, viewers, if you've not heard, I mean, the West Brom result, I've been a bit, it's a defeat, but what's happened in that game, really, in hindsight, is far more damaging. I mean, the early indications are that Coquelin has done he's got ligament problems and he's out till March, which would be an utter, just disaster.
Yeah, it would be a disaster of monumental proportion.
Well, it would be. I mean, I'm going to write something this week. I'm going to leave my comfort zone and write about Arsenal, not bashing Wenger necessarily, but basically now what we've got. Francis Coquelin was the guy that dug Wenger out of a big hole. He got very lucky. Now, if he's not going to be out till March, and he's going to have to. He had the whole Santi harmony and Coquelin harmony, and if Coquelin's going, Santi's, it's going to have to be rebalanced, and I'm really worried because I don't know how we're going to do that.
I mean, the only way that I can see it going forward now is either playing Ramsey and rushing back in the middle there as a tackling kind of defensive midfield player.
He can do that, but he's not
his favourite position.
No, absolutely not.
Or play Flamini in there, because as much as if Arteta, who came on for Coquelin, to my utter bemusement and confusion, to be honest with you,
go on.
If he'd had finished the game and not gone off injured again, I cannot understand why we keep persisting with Mikel Arteta.
I've said this before. It's sentimental. It's sentiment.
But there's no room for that, Neil.
But Wenger's the most sentimental manager.
Well, it's.
Yeah,
almost,
I know what you want to say. Yeah,
I almost swore. It's nonsense, mate. Some guy behind me, I swear to God, and I'm not advocating football violence in any way, shape, or form. I almost chinned someone yesterday. This guy, I swear to God, because this guy yesterday, he said, I'm going, why is he bringing in, with a lot more expletives in the sentence that I'm about to say, why is he bringing Arteta on? Flamini had a bit of bite in there. At least he's a bit more mobile and stuff like that. Guy behind me goes, well, I think Arteta's a much better player than Matthew Flamini. I can't understand how seemingly rational Arsenal fans can even contemplate that. Because, if it was a case that he was winning tackles and spraying the ball around and, and his legs are just, he was just trying his absolute hardest and that kind of stuff, then fair enough. But, I mean, his legs have gone.
Absolutely, yeah.
His legs have gone. Like, he can't put together a run of form more than 4 or 5 games long now. How is that a valued asset to the football club?
Well, he's just there and as a reserve in the vain hope that we don't have to play him. And unfortunately, on Saturday, well, it's absolutely. What was worse, like if he'd have come on, so he comes on for Coquelin about 25 minutes, I think it was, and then. And then he comes on, he scores an own goal, which, by the way, I cannot fathom. As the ball's crossed in by, is it James McLean?
It was either McLean or the number 7.
I think it's McLean. And Arteta's, why he's even in that position?
No, that's how I said.
God knows.
Why are you even there? Why
is he leaning towards the goal to clear as the ball's he's trying to clear it? Like he's hit his hand actually.
Yeah, that's it. That is it. And I can't fathom why he's even being considered to play there. I can't, because why? What's the point of that? And then he goes off injured, so he has to bring Flamini on. And within 1 minute of Matthew Flamini coming on, he's put a challenge in, sprayed the ball out wide. That's all you need to do in that position. I
think with Flamini, he's a little bit rash.
He is,
I think that's a concern.
He absolutely is a bit rash, but
he's he's got a fight in him.
He's a bit of a fighter. He's a bad loser as well, and he's more physically mobile than Mikel Arteta. It's like saying, I could play in there. I could play in there, or Matthew Flamini could play in there. Do you know what I mean? I'm not exactly the most mobile person in the bleeding world. Therefore, Flamini should be playing over me. It's. I just can't fathom it at all. I don't understand, and I'm really not ranting here. And people expect me to go on a rant and la 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 la, and I'm not. I'm just bemused because Arteta gave away the free kick for the first goal, and then he scored no goal. Now I think that
it's a total man of the match performance in the worst possible way.
Amazing. He was West Brom's best player. Yeah. Excuse me. But. I think that look, I was about to say, own goals can happen to anyone. You know what I mean? And I think you can be a little bit harsh criticising someone for, scoring their own goal. But maybe you're right with the positioning that he took up and that kind of stuff. But then West Brom, didn't deserve much out of that game. And towards the end of the game, I'm going, I don't think we deserve much out of this game. But I've looked at it again, and Campbell.
Not sure how he missed that.
He missed one. Giroud missed another sitter as well. I think Ozil hit the post as well. Really, I think he should have scored
right at the start of the second half.
Yeah, should have scored. And then we get a penalty out of nothing, which, I mean, I haven't seen that. Was that a penalty for you?
Yeah.
Okay. And then I've heard some reports of, like, Jonas Olsson messing about with the penalty spot. Is there anything to that? Or
Well, I've sort of seen it a bit of it on Match of the Day, and not really. I mean, I think certain people thought it was going to be retaken, but you know.
I think that
But something, you know, having said that, I mean, Santi slipped, so maybe.
Yeah.
I mean,
as far as I'm concerned, if you slip, if you anything like that, it doesn't matter. You just get on with it. Really, personally. What's the guy's name who was talking in his ear? The little fella who was talking to Santi the whole time. Did you see this?
the little fella.
Yeah, the West Brom player who was talking at Santi trying to put him off. Guy who came on.
Who came? Barahino?
No. Was it Stephen Fletcher? It was
Callum. Callum.
No, not Callum McManaman. Anyway, one of their players was talking to Carzola and talking in his ear and stuff.
It might be Craig Gardner. Yeah.
It was Craig Gardner. You're right. Now, I'm not, again, an advocate for violence, but if I'm on a team and we've got a penalty right at the end to nick a draw after losing from the majority of the game, and someone goes up and starts talking to the penalty taker, I'm grabbing that person around the throat and pulling him away from him, going, you don't talk to him, get him in front of it, take the referee, he's not talking to him, otherwise I'm going to deck him. Do you know what I mean? How are we letting him like work his way into Santi's mind there? Because obviously it's worked. Do you know what I mean? You could spot from the moment Carzola put the ball on the spot he was going to miss.
Something was wrong, wasn't it? He couldn't. It was just.
I genuinely think that even if he hadn't slipped, he'd have missed. I don't know why Sanchez didn't take the penalty. That's ludicrous as far as I'm concerned.
Santi hasn't missed a penalty yet.
Oh, he has now.
Wow.
Yeah, but you know, he just didn't look right to me. But and then that's all she wrote. To be honest, 4 minutes of time, and yet another game that kind of peters out in front of us. You know, if I think why people are more upset, and this is why it feels like every time we lose, the whole world flips upside down, is that when we lose games like this, we lose without a fight, we lose without a battling performance, and I think ultimately that's all fans want to see is people dying for the cause. Do you know what I mean?
Sometimes you get it with this club, sometimes you don't. I think what was just really weird, like I watched the game on stream initially, and it was like the clock was the slow. It's like when you're behind, the clock goes really fast.
Yeah.
But the clock was going so slowly, and it was like everyone I was talking to on text or like on Facebook or on Twitter is like, yeah, surely you're going to equalise. Yeah, you know, you've got 10 minutes. Surely you'll equalise, and you probably go on and win it. And it's like, well, I'm not so sure. And it's like West Brom were like, are you sure you don't want to equalise? Because you kept giving us the ball. It's like every time they played out, they gave it back to us.
Yeah, I mean, it did feel a bit like that in the ground even. You know, we're standing around going, okay, boys, lots of time left. You know, keep playing. And, you know, we kept playing it sideways back to Cech. I don't know what that was about. Kept playing it back to Peter Cech and stuff. And we almost got caught a couple of times like that. But, you know, I think that West Brom and Tony Pulis, the managerial expert that he is in a baseball cap, that isn't it weird how British men never suit baseball caps. Anyway, I think that he's looked at the Spurs game and they've done exactly what Tottenham did to us a couple of weeks ago, was combative midfield, working as hard as they possibly can.
To be fair to them, they didn't completely shut up. They actually went for it a little bit.
Yeah, I agree. And you know, on another day they might have got another one, but you know, it's really disappointing, especially after what's happened to Man City this weekend as well. But you know, I just think that it's a missed opportunity, and the Coquelin thing. I mean, I just think it's going to be really, really damaging now.
It's really hard to see a way around that. If indeed, I mean, I hope to goodness it isn't till March, but it looks like it's not like Arsenal not to come out with news about a seriously injured player, and if it is true, especially when it's about our players getting injured, they're not always particularly wide of the mark. So I'm inclined to start weeping into my Arsenal shirt a little bit. So if Coquelin's out, so we discussed Ramsey. Goodness me, I mean, Arteta now, we've got to cut ties with him. I'm sorry, it's sentiment. He was a great player for a little while, but enough's enough. And if we've got any aspirations whatsoever, he has to go now. So then there's Flamini's the option. The other one is Jeff Rain Adelaide, who's extremely young and extremely raw, but. Is it worth? We might not have any other choice. I mean, the other one is Gideon Zelalem at Rangers.
Oh, yeah.
Who
I think he out of the two, I think that he's the kind of more.
He's more
raw.
of a fat. Yeah.
I think potentially he is. I mean, but I think that in that position, I think I'd quite like to see the Jeff play in there.
I think he could do it. I really do.
I do. I don't see any reason why not. And especially over the next couple of games that we've got coming up with, which League nil should be winnable games.
It's a good time. They're not. It might be a good time to bring him in because it's Norwich away, and then I think we've got Bournemouth at home.
We've got Sunderland in there and Villa.
And then we've got Man City. So just before that, it might be a good idea to at least. I don't know. I mean, I think. Norwich, we should go to Carrow Road and score twice. I would have thought at least.
Said that about West Brom though, mate.
I know, but it's a different side. Norwich can't really defend. West Brom can. So, yeah, and
it's tough, man. It is really tough, but I think the really kind of the stat that I saw that really kind of summed it all up for me is that we haven't won a single game in November yet, which is good. I suppose.
That's true, isn't it? Yeah.
We haven't won a game in November yet, which is hilarious. But it's one of those things, isn't it? It's like we go to the international break and none of our players get hurt or injured or anything like that. It's literally the first game back. We were saying, probably the player, the first name on the team sheet, apart from Peter Cech, gets injured, and it's just couldn't make it up, could you?
Well, I mean, it's classic Arsenal, really, sadly.
Yeah.
So the injury to Coquelin now makes my opinion about Europe even more important. Not my opinion. In my opinion, that we should just Europe. We've just got to try and not beat Zagreb. It's
a double-edged sword, isn't it?
What can we do to not lose to not beat Zagreb? I know I said this before.
Play Giroud up front. I don't know. It's
Flamini, actually. Maybe stick Flamini as number 10.
Yeah, play a false number 9. But the only people we can blame is ourselves. This is the thing. Do you know what I mean?
There is a chance. Don't get me wrong. We beat Zagreb and Bayern beat Olympiacos, and then we go to Greece. But I've said this. But it's just what's the point exactly? Just even now we've got. Is there any way there's all this stuff on BT about time for the British clubs, time for the English clubs to get back in the game? And it's like, well, great, but can we just lose, please?
Yeah,
we lose. We can't qualify. We can't not finish bottom.
Couldn't give a monkeys. Right. I just, and I'm going to the game on Tuesday as well, and I'm just like,
that's going to be interesting.
Yeah, well, interesting is one word for it, but I don't know.
If it's 0-0 at 85 minutes, what are you going to be like? Oh, just pass the ball sideways a little bit more. Just.
I don't know. I honestly don't know. Look, I always want us to win every football match we're in, obviously.
Naturally.
But if we finish third and we go into the flipping Europa League, and it's just another set of games then with squad that we haven't got. And
absolutely, yeah.
It's just, I don't know. I just don't know. It's really, really difficult at the moment. There is a case almost to say just play the kids in the if we do get into the European, in the Europa League. But
is Sanchez going to get a rest against Zagreb? I don't think he is he?
Well, I don't think we've got anyone else to play personally, but I'd love to give him a rest against them
because he needs one. He blooming needs one.
Needs one. And we even said it in the ground yesterday. Even when he's not having a good game, he's working hard. He just works so hard. He tries to get into the game and stuff, but it just weren't for him yesterday. I just don't know. I really don't know where we go from here. To be honest with you, I'll tell you something. That Coquelin injury has really deflated me because I can see, I can almost write what's going to happen now. Do you know what I mean? These next 5 games are all going to be really tough, battling games. And if we had Coquelin in there, we could really be doing something. We might scrape a couple through. We might really battle one of them, and everyone will be going, yeah, we're going to win the league again, blah, 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 blah. And we'll come to January, and Arsenal go, oh, well, Coquelin's only a month away or a month and a half away, and we've got Ramsey coming back, and Chamberlain coming back, and Walcott coming back, and all these players. I don't need to sign any reinforcements or anything. I don't need to sign any more squad, additions or anything like that. And we'll come to the end of the year, and Man United will start winning more games. City will win more games, and it'll end up that we finish 3rd or 4th again. It's the same thing over and over and over again, mate. It's just, I don't know. I don't know where we go. Where do we go from here?
Where indeed. I should just point out, listeners, that Jack had a full bill of health today, and then as he's heard the news, his body's just given up. Yeah. His immune system's collapsed all over the shop.
That's what it is. Yeah, it's just, I don't know. It's just so frustrating that we should be winning games like that, and and there's no and there are no excuses, but all you hear are excuses. That's it. It's just a pain. I don't know if anyone else agrees with me, but
So something else that I noted about yesterday was Bellerin had a bit of a mare, to be honest, as I saw it. But in saying such, it illustrates how important he is to the team.
Yeah. I'll be honest with you.
He struggled with Rondon big time.
Yeah, he did, and he made him look. He made James McLean at one point as well look like bleeding
Messi,
Cristiano Ronaldo.
Well,
yeah, it just did. But it was a strange one with Bellerin. He's obviously a bit ring rusty, coming back straight into the team.
Right.
And stuff.
Yeah.
But I think he's so much better than the alternative.
I'm not suggesting. Absolutely not suggesting that we go to Debussy. I just think it was, as I noticed, that he just had a bit of a shocker. But it happens. It happens.
Yeah, absolutely. And to be honest with you, Neil, the more that I think about it, I do think that it's that key phrase. It just happens that sometimes performances like that happen, and I don't even think Mertesacker had a great game, to be honest with you, or Koscielny. The only one across the line I thought had a half decent game was Monreal. But talking about Hector again, he's a young kid, and sometimes performances like that will happen. I just hope it doesn't dent his confidence too much, and go and hope he goes forward from there. Yeah,
I think we just need to. There's been a lot of cliches flying around in this podcast, for which I apologise.
This podcast are 2 halves.
There we go. Any more?
No, that's it now.
Okay. So I mean, looking ahead to the Norwich game on Sunday, yes. Yep. Not an easy trip, but I mean, you would think that we could probably, I don't know, you've got to think we'd win that. I can't remember the last time Norwich beat us. I cannot. As a semi-Ipswich fan, I hate Norwich, but
Norwich are great. I think they're. I like going up to Carrow Road. It's a nice part of the country, and nice people and stuff, and chat. It's a great pub up there called the Murderers, if anyone knows of it. It's very good in there. If you're going to the game, it's legitimately called the Murderers. If anyone's going up there for a drink, I highly recommend going there pre-match. But again, like whenever anyone asks me the question, how do you think Arsenal get on this weekend? I almost give the same answer now to everyone. I say it just depends which Arsenal turn up.
Yeah, we've said it before.
Yeah, it literally depends which Arsenal turn up. We could very easily turn up there, put 4 past them, take the 3 points, come home, job done, that's it. Or we could easily be losing 2-1 with 88 minutes gone, and Czech's gone off injured, and Koscielny's gone off injured, and Joel Campbell's playing up front because Olivier Giroud's had to be injured because he needs another haircut at half time or something, and it's just it could be either one of those or anything in between. It's really literally that difficult to know where we're going to be at the moment. But the one thing that I would stress is that one result doesn't make a season, and after what happened to Man City yesterday, the absolute capitulation, Klopp capitulation of what happened to them yesterday, which was hilarious by all regards.
Well, they weren't expecting it.
No.
I think City weren't expecting. Well, no, not a lot of people were expecting it, but that's what a Klopp team can do. High energy, not necessarily pressing, but they were buzzing around like bees, and City couldn't deal with
it. That is it.
Just reminded me of a little bit of when we beat United. They just weren't expecting it.
Yeah, absolutely. And anything can happen. Look, let's get this into context a little bit. Leicester City are top of the Premier League at the minute.
Jamie Vardy.
If that doesn't tell you, that this league is so wide open at the moment, nothing will. You know what I mean? And look, if we beat Norwich convincingly in a couple of weeks, in next week, then it's all going to be all smiles and we're going to win the league again. Do you know what I mean? But it's just so close to call at the moment. I just think that Coquelin injury is a massive blow.
No, well, I completely agree. I mean, go back to a couple of weeks before the City game, and when Coquelin was brought back for Charlton, and we were all pretty vitriolic about Arsene Wenger, saying, he doesn't have anything. And we didn't really have anything, and I've said this before. And he got very lucky with Coquelin, the fact that he just slotted in at the right time, and it all came together. Without him, then Wenger could be back to square one where he was since the transfer window opens, if he actually did anything, which by then he'd probably be only about a month away, maybe two months away.
I've got about the transfer window. Obviously a lot of rumours flying around about potential signings coming from Spain of certain individuals and that kind of stuff. I just want to ask you, which game do you think Lionel Messi will win his first man of the match performance in an offset? Because it's so on, it's unbelievable.
Do you know what? It's going to be Stoke. Yeah. I've just said it. Said he could never do it against Stoke, and he does it, and it's like that's it. That's the ultimate.
It's going to be raining on a Tuesday.
That's the final myth, just destroyed and thrown out the window completely.
You will finally know who's better out of the two, Ronaldo or him, because Ronaldo never performed well on a rainy Tuesday night in Stoke.
Yeah. It's also nice to know the fans are trying to raise money for Lionel Messi.
If anyone hasn't seen it, I have also contributed to the 600,000 Arsenal fans needed to be found for a £1 direct debit every week to leave their account to go directly into Lionel Messi's with no tax being paid on it. So if anyone else is interested in that, please search Twitter for the campaign or the petition and sign up to it, because it's the difference between getting Lionel Messi and having to stick with what we got at the moment, unfortunately.
Do you know it's £1 each?
That's it. I've slung my hat into the ring and gone, do you know what, I'll give you £5 each a month.
I would put £5 actually, yeah.
Loosen the odds a little bit then, do you know what I mean? So it's look, it's an absolute pipe dream, and it's never going to happen with Messi. And people are saying, yeah, but he loves the style of football, he loves London, look, it's never going to happen.
I've not seen any evidence that he likes London yet.
No. But yeah.
Well, he doesn't speak English for one, but I suppose he didn't need to.
Yeah, he speaks with his feet, mate. That's why. But then, we got this other one is Nolito that won't go away at the moment. Now, I think £12 million for a 29-year-old player is quite a lot of money with no, obviously, Arsenal's favourite thing of resale value. Do you see any truth in that?
No. Zero.
Yeah, me too. Terrifying, isn't it?
There was, and whilst we're on the subject of rumours, Ibrahimovic, well, in the Sunday People anyway, if you believe that.
Ibrahimovic coming to Arsenal?
Yeah. A couple of days after saying he won't go to the Premier League because it's too late, and then apparently he does want to play under Wenger, which I kind of don't believe, because if he wanted to, he would have come to Arsenal in the first place.
The only thing then that needs to happen is for Arsenal to go and join Paris Saint-Germain, and then everyone on Twitter will be happy.
Be ecstatic. Piers Morgan would be. Goodness me, I don't know what he'll do now.
But look, no, it's very difficult to see who, if anyone, he can bring in January, and.
Well, that is the other thing. Who is there to bring in?
I'm just so bemused with it at the moment, and I just can't. After seeing that,
we've all been in this position. We know, like, if he was going to get injured, we'd be completely, up the Swanee without a paddle, should we say? And it's happened. So we don't know if it's true yet, but he's out too much. But if he is, then yeah, I mean, I don't really want to think about that.
No.
So he's not a big name, but he's such a vital cog in our team.
If people don't understand how important he is to our side, I think you will in the next couple of games. But hopefully it will be a case where we stick 7 past all these players, all these teams coming up, and no one notices it.
Well, we might have to do that now.
No one notices any difference.
Score more than the old Real Madrid way. You score 3, we'll score 4. I don't think we can score 4, actually. Anyway, anything else you want to cover?
I'd like to congratulate Mesut Ozil for his contribution yesterday as well. Obviously, the 7th.
It's very gracious of you, Jack.
7th assist in a row. Is that right? In a row?
That is correct.
Fantastic. But how many goals has he scored?
Well, like 2, I think.
Right.
But we didn't buy him for the goals.
But
should have had a third.
Yeah.
If it is a third.
But no, look, I'm only taking the mic. It was a really devastating defeat yesterday. But you can't lay it all at Mesut Ozil's feet, I don't think. But and to be honest with you, I think he had a relatively good game. wasn't as impactful as I would have liked him to be, but
he wasn't on the ball a hell of a lot, but then who was?
Far more impactful than he's been in some games that could come to mind for me. But apart from that, nothing else from me. Anything from you?
No, I mean, I think it's it's funny. I thought we'd get a bit more of a rant, but I guess we didn't really play badly, and maybe it feels like it was just one of those, like you say, one of those things.
And genuinely, that's how I feel. It was just one of those games that it just doesn't come off, and you don't. Unfortunately, Arsenal don't win every football match they play.
And because of the Paris attacks, perhaps we don't want to really use that as too much of a crutch or a blame, but then perhaps we can. I think, but like I say, I think it's just I wasn't really that disappointed. We're only 2 points off the top again, and we've got some nice fixtures, but it's just the Coquelin thing. It's really we don't know where we stand with it. I hope someone comes out from Arsenal this week and just clarifies it, because I really hope it's wrong, but it looks like it's pretty bad news on that department. So there we go. Thanks for listening once again, viewers. You can contact us both on Twitter. Jack, handle please.
My Twitter handle is @diamond__Jack. You can also catch me on the eFootball podcast, which I host. That should be being recorded tomorrow, out for Tuesday. I think this is coming out tomorrow. Is that right? Maybe.
You might be able to get this tonight, Sunday, perhaps.
Okay.
We don't know yet.
So either Sunday night or Monday night, as we're recording this. So the eFootball podcast should be available for your listening pleasure Tuesday or Wednesday of this week.
Excellent. I've been Neil, your host. You can get me on Twitter at the91stneil. That's at the91stneil. As I say, you can join the Facebook group, or you can contact us more wildly. You can contact us wildly if you like. That would be fun. At _ArsenalNet on Twitter. Thanks again for listening, and well, we go on and let's see what happens against Zagreb. I don't want to say come on you Gunners, I suppose, but come on Gunners, lose. Thanks for listening.